and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to start talking about looking back as I look back on my career and some of the things that I've learned and want to share with you. First of all, I have a very good friend who was also a counselor for many years. And we were out to lunch talking, and we could share anything with each other. And she said, what made you struggle so hard and stick with your jobs? And I was kind of taken aback because I hadn't thought of myself as struggling all the time. But in fact, I did struggle a lot, mostly with the culture and how I was treated sometimes. But for me, I told her I had to do it. I have a type A driven personality. I think I was born with that. And also, I think I was heavily influenced by my childhood, which most people are in one way or another. My father was very encouraging toward me. Um, he actually had me help him develop plans for many of the new businesses he started every couple years. Another thing is, I think I saw my mother as being totally dependent on my father. And she was a very smart, capable woman. But at that time, I was growing up in the 50s and the 60s, not that many women were working outside of the household other than if they had to. So I think I drew the conclusion that my mom couldn't go outside the household because she couldn't earn as much money as my father could and provide for my brother and me, which was the number one most important thing for her. So I think I also, at some level, made a decision that I will never be so dependent on anyone that I cannot provide for myself and my family. Um, looking back, there was so much I loved about my career. So many highlights, like that gala I went to for e-ticket in Washington, D.C., and being Woman of the Year for United Airlines for the YWCA in New York City. So, but that being said, when I look back, the things that really make me feel good and warm my heart are, first of all, when I helped either women or minorities, especially, and also men, but when I saw them get ahead, when I saw them be highly successful and promoted, that really made me feel good. And the other thing that I look back upon so fondly is my colleagues and those after work conversations, that camaraderie that we had. So that's something to think about. As I look back, it's not my personal highlights that really make me feel good. It's about helping other people and enjoying other people. And I think many people feel the same way I do. And then there's this old saying that time heals everything. And I think that's very true. If not totally, at least it makes you feel better. So I really had to work on forgiveness, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that. Um, because, the men that maybe treated me less than equally and discriminated against me, they were brought up in a culture too, where men were supposed to rule the roost. They were the ones that led businesses, led the family, and made the important decisions, and women were not. And if they would see a woman getting ahead, it might take away from their feeling like a man. So I understand that. And I also think there were and are many men who do not want to be part of the good old boys club. And then looking back, I have a lot of gratitude because, all my bosses were men, but there were so many that helped me, supported me, guided me. I mean, I owe so much to those wonderful men. So I really don't have regrets about other people. The regrets I have are about the things that I did or didn't do for myself. And just to reiterate a couple of them, just so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. I regret not standing up for myself and facing head on situations of discrimination. I allowed myself to be abused by low pay, inadequate titles, and working too long in with acting titles or interim titles. So again, these are things that I wish I had done differently, address the issues more strongly. I regret not focusing more on my communication, especially in those meetings where I was ignored. Perhaps I could have talked to a counselor or psychiatrist to boost my self confidence, not only in those meetings, but overall. My confidence definitely needed boosting during much of my career. And of course, it's understandable. You know, when you're discriminated against and put down, you either react strongly against it or you internalize and feel kind of less about yourself than you should. But now, another thing I believe, and I think this was subconscious again, is that I felt bad, I regretted about not being part of the good old boys club. Now I celebrate that fact. I celebrate the fact that I have a strong left brain ability to think logically and analytically. And I also celebrate the fact that I'm able to use my right brain and be intuitive, collaborative, and bring people together and encourage teamwork. And I feel any woman listening to this video should feel the same way too. Congratulate yourself for not being one of the good old boys club because their model is not a good one for today. And celebrate the fact that you are a woman and that you have these multiple capabilities. So, another thing I look back, and I think I did this good some of the time. Surround yourself with positive people, supportive people, and just supportive environments. I notice as I look back, I have a lot of pictures and statues and things that are celebratory. And at the time, I didn't realize what I was doing, but I think I was encouraging myself with positive thinking and positive moods. So let's get into the three questions for today. First of all, do you take time to evaluate how satisfied or dissatisfied you are in your job? Do you focus on the positives or negatives about your current job? In other words, do you see the glass half empty or half full? Question two, how do you handle failures? Do you think they can make a positive difference in your life? And I certainly do. I think my failures really led to my success. And question three, do you take time to be grateful for your job? Or are you only focused on the next opportunity and you don't take time to feel good about your job and yourself? With that, the next video is going to be that about discrimination still existing in the workplace today. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you soon.